been looking forward to this.
Hey, I think we all have, Dooku. Welcome to an in-game look at LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. And oh boy, sit back. We're going from hot tub stormtroopers to epic boss battles and a full-on galaxy raid. So then, today I will be taking you through a few levels from the game, one from each trilogy, which will give you an overall look into the game's gameplay and much more, such as Hot Tub Stormtroopers and Ben Swallow. Anyway, this deserves an epic soundtrack, so you know what to do, cue the music. Right then, hello there guys, I am RuggedEagle and I do loads of LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga content on my channel, so if you do like what you see, please feel free to subscribe. It's up to you though, but I do highly recommend. Oh yeah, and a like would be greatly appreciated, only if you do go to enjoy though, and I'm sure you will. So, kicking things off, let's begin on the episode selection menu, and I'm sure you've all seen this, and they each have an animated LEGO diorama, and they look fantastic. Hovering over any of the LEGO episode selected dioramas also plays a theme correlating to that movie, so when you hover over Revenge of the Sith you get Battle of the Heroes, dun 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 dun. It's sweet. It's the little things. And out of all the episodes, the first episode we are going to be diving into is episode 4, A New Hope, where it all started in 1977, and the level we are going to be looking at is Boarding Party. I mean, it's a LEGO game. Obviously, the Death Star plans are hidden in a coffee machine. And hold your horses. Just before we dive into any of the raw gameplay footage, we do get the cutscene of the iconic scene from A New Hope where the Star Destroyer flies over. And yes, it's a fully built LEGO custom Star Destroyer. Jumping back over to our boy Captain Antilles as he gives Princess Leia the Death Star plans, we then head into some raw gameplay footage. So then, here it is. This is how the game will look when you get your hands on it on April 5th. And whilst the gameplay is playing out, I'm going to break down everything on your HUD just to let you know how it works. So at the bottom left, you have your minimap, and I'm sure you all know how a minimap works. It basically just shows your surroundings. And I mean, it still amazes me how all of the interiors are purely built out of LEGO bricks. It just looks stunning. And as Leia progresses through the Tantive, you may notice a rebel trooper in his pyjamas crying in the corner. He's not having a good day. And here we get a really good in-depth look at just how the blaster combat is going to work in this game. We see Leia shooting at some stormtroopers, and yes, the stormtroopers do react where they are shot. If you shoot them in the head, it will do more damage. And for all you keen-eyed fellows, you may notice at the side the stud meter is multiplying for the higher combos that the player is receiving. So the higher the combo, the more studs you get, and this helps apply to the new True Jedi bar at the top of the screen. Now, the days are gone when you reach around 98% on a stud meter and you don't get your precious gold brick, because now this LEGO stud meter is split into 3 distinct sections, and each section that you complete, you get a Kyber brick. And there's 1,166 Kyber bricks in this game, so you know how big it's going to be. And each level will have 6 Kyber bricks and 5 mini-kits alongside challenges, but we'll get onto this later. Now brace yourself. Remember that scene from Rogue One where Vader makes his way through the hallway? Well, in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, we just see LEGO Vader go to town. He picks up Captain Antilles, throws him onto the other side of the room, and you just see him mow through everyone. It's epic. I mean, when I saw that for the first time, and then at the end of it, Leia's just sat there smiling and a little bit sadistic. Once the gameplay progresses, we get to have a look at Leia Organa's grapple gun, and it's very similar to Batman's grapple gun in the LEGO Batman games. Hand-to-hand combat is present when we see Leia Organa just get to town by slapping all the stormtroopers. And you may have noticed that the player does perform a counter maneuver, which is a completely new feature in this LEGO game, and basically when an enemy is about to attack you, you simply click a button and you counter them, and this does stack up in your stud meter. And hey, be wary of the thermal detonators, because the stormtroopers can now throw thermal detonators at you and they can be quite volatile. Just like I said earlier, Vader is going to town. He is just obliterating these rebel troops right now. And then a rebel trooper can be seen without any pants, just to let you know. And it's just awesome how you can still see Vader mowing his way through all these troops as you're trying to just progress through the level. I really like that added detail. And then we see some stormtroopers, I'm going to call them Dan and Phil, messing with some thermal detonators, and I'm sure you know how it ends. Rest in peace, Dan and Phil. Rest in peace. Now this section may look familiar because it was shown in one of the past previous gameplay trailers, and they are bringing back the multiple builds option. Depending on what route you take, it will decide how the level will play out. If you go for a more guns blazing approach, it will play out a lot differently. However, you could sneak through the vents and have a more sneaky approach, and I really like this feature in this LEGO game. Now the classic LEGO game terminals are returning, and it's good to see these back. Alongside the dragging crates puzzles, do you remember them in the previous LEGO games where you have to push crates around? It does look like they've changed it up in the Skywalker Saga, which is a good thing, and I really like how they changed it up. Now, just in case you missed it, very quickly it does flash up when you head over to a Stormtrooper's top in a level. You can actually wear it, and if you get the entire outfit, you can wear a Stormtrooper disguise. And then to wrap things up, we see Leia Organa meet up with R2-D2, and she literally just slam dunks the Death Star plans into him, seriously. And then poor Captain Antilles, we see Darth Vader dangling him upside down, shaking him like give me your lunch money as all the studs are falling out his pocket. Love that detail. And then for the next section of the level, we get to see R2-D2 and C-3PO trying to make it to an escape pod. And just to let you know, enemies do not attack droids at all in this game. Right. I'm sure you all know what's coming up next. Yes, it is the Hot Tub Stormtroopers. This is going to be all of us on April 5th. The boys. It's the boys. And then there's also another pod where a Stormtrooper is taking a shower. And then there's another one where a Stormtrooper's jamming out to some tunes. And that pretty much wraps it up for the entire level of the boarding party. And then at the end, their pod turns into a washing machine. Don't ask me, but I'm so glad they're bringing back the classic whimsical humour, and Mumble Mode's returning if you didn't know. What are you playing on, by the way? Please let me know in the comments. Mumble Mode or voice lines? Which do you prefer and which are you going to use? And then C-3PO and R2-D2 crash on the sands of Tatooine, and then we get this cursed image of C-3PO-D2 or R2-3PO. And the footage of the open world that you're seeing here will be in a separate video. I've got a playlist at the end of this video with all the new in-game looks that I have for the Skywalker Saga, so you can check it out all in one place. But anyway, let's go rescue Chancellor Palpatine in episode 3. Yeah, this level's mint.
I never thought I'd make it to retirement, but here I am!
So yeah, it just kicks off with an absolute amazing cutscene, and the banter between Obi-Wan and Anakin is great, and these lines are pulled out of the movie, and yes, there's a Jawa mug and Obi-Wan's having coffee. And it's funny how they just completely ruin that Battle Droid's retirement party. And for some reason, when Obi-Wan and Anakin are locating General Grievous and Count Dooku on the Invisible Hand, I really love the little Lego model of the Invisible Hand. I just think it's really cool. Right, I'm gonna say it, I have to. This is where the fun begins. Alright, so this level literally just depicts what the lightsaber combat and force mechanics are going to be like in this game, and the force mechanics are really grounded. They have so many levels to it, and you can literally pick up everything. And I mean everything. You can even pick up droids such as R2-D2 and C-3PO, and even B-1 battle droids. And before I show any more combat in this level, I just really want to focus on the force mechanic at this minute, because it's really interesting. It's not just used in combat, it's also used in the puzzles in the level too. Alright, so as an example, there's a section of the level where there's loads of passages blocked off by lasers, and Anakin uses the Force to pull a crate towards him, and he jumps on top of the crate to get over the laser, and I really like how you can experiment with the Force to progress through the levels. And when they were playing through this level, I also got a look at some couch co-op, which was awesome to see. Also, there's a section when they were playing through the level where they simply paused the game, and it had some really cool art for the prequels. It were wicked. And the gameplay feature of cutting through walls with a lightsaber is returning in this game, and you know the game is good when they make cutting through a wall with a lightsaber look fantastic. When you break the wall, it just shatters into Lego pieces, and then Anakin just storms the room and just makes way through the B-1 battle droids. You know, if the game makes that look good, this game is godly. And then we have Palpatine, otherwise known as the Senate, eating some popcorn. Yeah, you know it's Lego Star Wars. And now comes one of my all-time favourite Sith Lords, Count Dooku, and he says the famous line, "I've been looking forward to this," and he jumps down, and his other B-2 battle droids fail to do that, so he has to rebuild them. Here we go, this is our first look at a proper boss battle in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and it comes up with a fancy title card saying Count Dooku, and this will apply for every boss, and then we dive into the full-on boss battle. Now, compared to previous LEGO games, the combat is a lot more grounded. At the bottom you can see by clicking down on the left trigger you simply block, by clicking A you dodge to the side, and you can also throw your lightsaber. If you hold to block and then click the right trigger, you will throw your lightsaber, depending if you have that upgrade. And like I said, it's the small details. When you do enter a boss battle, the camera perspective does zoom in a little bit more, and it just gets you in that zone for the boss battle, which LEGO games have not really done before. And this really works. And it really does help ground the boss battles even further. And like I mentioned earlier, we see Anakin pick up a crate and just lob it at Count Dooku's face. And the force mechanics do work in combat alongside the puzzles. And we get to see all the numerous combos you can do with your lightsaber, such as light attacks, heavy attacks. Now, one thing I'm so glad they finally did in a LEGO Star Wars game is depict the character's lightsaber forms correctly. For example, Dooku has his more duelist approach to his lightsaber form compared to Obi-Wan, who has a more defensive form, and Anakin with his aggressive form. Now, I ain't gonna go into what all the forms do, but I like how each form looks different now, and they all fight in a different way. Anakin fights more aggressive, and Count Dooku has a more swift duelist approach. And then you may have noticed when you're in a lightsaber battle in a boss fight, you can enter a clash mode, which is really where you spam a button, but it just looks super fun, and it makes some really addictive sounds, and they are swinging that lightsaber at some pace. I mean, look at them go! Oh yeah, and I kind of forgot to mention, when you're in a boss battle, Count Dooku can actually choke you, so be wary of that. And if you are wondering what them shields mean underneath the boss's health bar, that basically is how many phases the boss has. So once you've wiped his health bar down, it gets rid of one shield and then it enters the next phase of the boss fight. And if you sat there wondering again why the player is rewarded a Kyber brick after completing a clash with Count Dooku, that is because he completed one of the level challenges and it rewarded him with a Kyber brick. And swoosh, there goes LEGO Count Dooku's hands. And I'm just going to stop the clip there. I know what you're waiting for. I'll roll it now. Do it. There, you happy now? You heard the line? It was amazing. And then we get to see General Grievous, and he has his LEGO cape on, which is really cool to see. I didn't expect them to do this, but they did. Now, I'm sure you know how it plays out from here, and they did change it up a little bit from the film, but it technically still plays out the same, and it leads to another happy landing. And yeah, there's quite a bit going on in this cutscene. We get to see General Grievous taking pictures in space. And hey, who's complaining? We get to have a look at a fully built LEGO Invisible Hand out of LEGO bricks, and Palpatine and everyone screaming as they're heading into Coruscant at quite a pace. And then we get the line from Obi-Wan.
Another happy landing.
And once that dedicated level has been complete, you return to the open world, which is unlike any other LEGO game, and you get your level stats in the open world. And I really like this. It really does feel a lot fresher and more modern for an up-to-date LEGO game, and here it tells you how many Kyber bricks you got in that level. There's a total of 6, there's 5 total mini-kits in each level, there's also challenges, and these challenges do reward you with mini-kits, and finally, you get to see the characters and vehicles you unlocked through that level. So after having an in-depth look at lightsaber combat, blaster combat and force mechanics, there's only one thing left to look at, and that's the vehicle combat. Right then, it's time to jump over to The Last Jedi. So I just want to begin with how Poe Dameron is dodging all them blaster shots. It just looks super funny. And then BB-8 pulls out a massive boxing glove and punches it. So the large space battles in this game is what you expected. They're massive, and especially all the custom built LEGO Star Destroyers dotted around, it just adds to the scale. And yes, I know it's a First Order Dreadnought, I know. And I'll just halt it right here. At the bottom you can see all of the vehicle controls, so you get a good understanding, ready for when you get the game. Now, this might be the best thing that you've ever heard in your life, and you want to brace yourself for it. In this new LEGO Star Wars game, you do not have to collect torpedoes anymore. You simply take down the TIE Interceptors and then you get the torpedoes. Finally, the days of going to them torpedo panels are over. So yeah, you can see the TIE Interceptors flying around with a purple trail, and that basically means if you take them down, you get torpedoes. So yeah, there you go. This level is pretty much just a giant space battle, and it's epic. It's a really good level, and then we get to see Ben Swallow at the end. I'm not going to show you him yet, because look, there's a loss of a good piano there. I really love what they did with Snoke's line to add humour. Basically, Kylo Ren comes in with a Love Vader t-shirt, and then Snoke says, take that ridiculous thing off, and he rips it off, and then we get to see Ben Swallow. And that pretty much confirms him as a character, so Yeah, you know. So there you go. That may have been a little bit exhausting because you have seen quite a lot of gameplay, and all this gameplay is fantastic. And I just want to thank Warner Bros. And you lot, the community, for everything. And I hope you enjoyed everything that we saw today, because I definitely did. If you want to go back and rewatch some bits that you may have missed, you can certainly do that. And if you want to check out any more, such as the open world, me playing through a certain level, there is a playlist here at the end. Definitely check out this playlist. It's got all the new in-game looks, and you'll definitely enjoy it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and go to drop a like, and I'll see you all in a bit. Have a good week. Adios.